here or maybe at home know, there's not very many organizations that are specifically mobilizing Puerto Ricans around issues related to Puerto Rico. And so we wanted to end that and make sure that at least we were there to, if folks wanted to get involved, we could help them get more involved. Y tengo que compartir lo mucho que la legalización de cannabis ayudaría a ambos lugares, pero realmente Puerto Rico podría cambiar todo, mientras que me opongo a cualquier tipo de cultivo del dinero que se nos ha hecho en la cana de azúcar en Puerto Rico. Creo que la producción industrial de cannabis podría ayudar a Puerto Rico a salir de su crisis económica. So I really think that cannabis as an industry can help Puerto Rico pull itself out of its economic crisis. Puerto Rico specifically has a lot of issues that are going on economically, and I made a comment about I don't want it to be monocropping like sugar was, because that was really problematic back in the day. But that being said, cannabis is a bit of a different product, right? Like a pound of sugar is $1, and right, a pound of cannabis can be $2,000, right? That's a big difference. And Puerto Rico as a space has some really unique advantages. Year-round sun, has the right kind of environment. So you have mountains all the way down to dry forest. You can literally grow it in any environment that you want in Puerto Rico. And the big thing that I could talk about a little bit later is actually that 280E does not apply in Puerto Rico. So all of the federal tax codes do not apply in Puerto Rico, and so we're talking about figuring out the most cost-efficient place to start a business. It's Puerto Rico. The income tax rate in Puerto Rico is 4%. I have a lot of problems with that as the Connecticut head of the Connecticut Puerto Rico agenda. However, as folks looking for a place to invest, the climate in Puerto Rico for cannabis is one of the best in the world. And so I think there's a lot that we can do when it comes to using the cannabis industry as a way to provide an answer for what economic opportunity can we bring to Puerto Rico, right? It's a very simple, direct answer. Legalize marijuana and sell it to the Caribbean, right? And so there's a lot of tourists that come from there. Puerto Rico does have reciprocity for medical patients. And so if folks come to travel in Puerto Rico, you can buy medical there, although it is quite small, and also no flower currently going on in Puerto Rico. On top of that, so un mercado legal en el medio de la industria turística del Caribe trae miles de millones para un producto al mismo en Puerto Rico que puede ser cultivado todos los días del año. Es demasiado perfecto para ignorar y me encanta estar en este espacio donde puedo expresar la increíble potencial para la oportunidad económica que es el cannabis. Así que, en conclusión, y por todas las razones enumeradas arriba, creo que deberíamos tener una conferencia de cannabis para gente de color en marzo de 2018 en Puerto Rico. And so, for all the reasons that I said above, I think that we should have a conference of people of color in Puerto Rico in March of 2018. I think it's the time for us to come together as an entity, as a people, and to say what we want out of the industry and how we're going to push it forward, and how we can set up the networks to make sure that all of our people are giving the lift up to those that want to get involved that we possibly can. We have brilliant engineers, we have brilliant performers that have lots of investment capital. Like, we can totally lift our own people up, right? And this is the spot that we can do it. And so I think also Puerto Rico is a rare place that not only is going to be gorgeous and fantastic with beautiful dancing and food to have a conference, but it's going to be one of the places that is primarily Spanish speaking, right, within the United States. And so the entire island of Puerto Rico, despite what the census might say, but is majority people of color in Puerto Rico. And so I think it's a perfect spot to do it. The island of Puerto Rico could use our help, and I think the cannabis industry could benefit from learning how to use the current situation in Puerto Rico to do mass economic development in a serious scale that can pull people out of poverty in a real way. So I think as MCBA we are exploring this moving forward. And so, así que les invito a todos a unirse a la MCBA y ayudarnos a lanzar la mejor conferencia de la industria de cannabis en la historia de planta, y gracias por tu tiempo. ¿Hay preguntas? Or do you have questions?
You have a question?
Being that you're involved with policy, are there any, is anybody throwing at you any, because a lot of states have sort of like a quota, they're adopting this thing where, you want to have a certain number of minorities, the big problem that's going on in DC. Is there any protections in place? Like, let's say, someone gets merged or acquired, and, all of a sudden you're the founder or something like that, and all of a sudden you're out the door. Are there any protections or anybody's
No, I would say probably not. I mean, the problem with quotas are actually unconstitutional, and so that made it really difficult for us to figure out exactly how do you ensure equity without a quota, right? And so the way we do it, there's a couple different things. I didn't want to get too deep in there, but one of the biggest things that we think is hampering people of color is license caps, saying there will only be 5, right, in the entire state of California, because then it's a matter of who can buy off rather than who can get their act together. And so we want to make sure that if you have the capacity to run a business, you should be allowed to do it. So that's the big thing. So in that case, somebody could just start another business, right? Like if they get bought out, but if there's only a limited number of caps, they're done, right? And so right now, the best we have is that we have included requirements or bonus points for diversity initiatives in the application process. After that point, there's nothing that is helping people as an employee. There's nobody tracking the data of who is employees, how many people, what percent of the cannabis industry is Latino, right? Nobody's tracking that. So even if we had the information, we can't verify what percent is this after the application process happens. So if things change, they fire people, like there's no way to check it going back again. So that's why on our end of things, we're going through and pushing on like industry associations of saying, how are we going to track this moving forward, right? Like this is a problem. So for instance, in Colorado, there's only one black woman who owns a dispensary in all of Colorado, right? There's thousands of dispensaries in Colorado, and one is owned by a black woman, right? And so like that's how we know the data, because it's that low. We can literally count them all on one hand. And this is exactly what I think we need to have this conference, right? There are people that can try to figure out how to make that happen, like Latino Justice and different groups that maybe can answer it. Because I'm not a lawyer, I'm an organizer, right? But I think within our community we can answer that. And we also have the capacity and the power to demand it, right? Like if you look at the Hispanic caucus has many members of Congress, right? We have many powerful people that can help us out to move on these things, but I don't think as a community we're asking them to do it yet. And I think that's one of the things that we do also in the policy committee is we have a list of all the congressional members and where they stand, and we're going to start asking them to move farther where we want to go. But like Sonia said earlier, there is no brown lobbyist industry, right? Like we're it. Right, and so we're pushing it forward, but as you can see, we're relatively young folks, making it happen where other folks have decided not to move, and so we will get there, but only as a unit.
Collective.
Sure. Woo. Anything else? Oh, and real quick, you guys should check out ConnecticutPuertoRicanAgenda.com. We're going to fight the coal ash dumping. There's a toxic mess that they're trying to dump all over Puerto Rico. You want to talk about cannabis and helping with the environmental causes. A lot of our folks are also very strong environmentalists, and so let's cross issues when we need to pull more folks in, because if we destroy Puerto Rico, we can't plant any cannabis where there's coal ash, right? And so if they destroy it, we can't plant weed there. Mm-hmm. So please help us out, make sure that we can raise the word about this, because seriously, once you destroy an environment, there's no getting it back. And I think we can't afford to let things like this go by, and so check it out, ConnecticutPuertoRicanAgenda.com.